hello there, and welcome back to Lazy Views, my little birdies. So I have something in store for y'all. So I know that we've been talking about trying to do some kind of get ready with me series for basically where we can talk about some of my favorite cookie ideologies and conspiracy theories. So I present the Conspiraseries. Dun dun dun. I'm gonna get better editing. There's gonna be like lightning and shit. But until then, it's just dun dun dun. In honor of spooky season, every Sunday of October, I will be uploading a fun twist on a classic Halloween look, and it's gonna go around a conspiracy theory. So this week, we're gonna be doing my favorite. I'm probably this at least every other Halloween. Witches. Yes. I love witches. I consider myself one deep down at heart. I've read tarot for like 7 years. Like, I'm very big into tarot. It's just something that I love. To just start it off, we're gonna go in with a little bit of a history and a brush, because you need a brush. It's unclear exactly when, we're gonna take some black. It's unclear exactly when witches came to the historical scene, but one of the earliest records of a witch, it goes back to the original Jewish Bible. I know, this is looking crazy, bear with me. The first book of Samuel, thought to be written between 931 BC and 721 BC. It tells the story of King Saul sought to the witch of Endor to summon the dead prophet Samuel's spirit to help defeat on a Philistine army. The witch roused Samuel, but she also prophesied the death of Saul and all of his sons. According to the Bible, the next day, Saul and all of his sons died. All of his sons died in battle, and Saul committed suicide. I don't know about y'all, but if a witch was like, hey, I'll do you this favor, but I'm gonna do you another solid, just don't do that battle tomorrow, like, you're gonna die, I think I'd be like, y'all, we're not doing this battle tomorrow. We're gonna die. Especially if it was like my sons. Like, I only have daughters, but same gist. Kids are kids. We're gonna skip this one out. Y'all win. GG. But unfortunately, that's apparently not what happened, and everyone dies. Just like Game of Thrones, everyone dies. F it, right? Who even cares anymore? You die, I die, we all die. That's how it works with the Great Witch of Endor. Getting on with it. In the Middle East, ancient civilizations actually had women carry out the most sacred practices and the most sacred arts. So these were probably the earliest manifestations of a witch. But I mean, I wasn't there, so I can't really tell you. Or was I? Dun, dun, dun. But in the earliest centuries of human civilization, witches were just women who served the goddesses. High priestesses with very badass mojo. I want to be a priestess with badass mojo. That sounds like the game where it's at. I feel like that's enough black. What do you think? What's interesting is these witches, these women, these very powerful women throughout history were so revered that kings would not go without their consort. Armies could not rebuild without the aid of witches. No child was born. They cured impotence, they cured infertility, but in the same hand, they wanted witches to be executed in about 200 to 500 Common Era, I believe. That's when the first scripts of banning witchcraft really came about, and like, it wasn't just witchcraft, it was like banning witchcraft. It was like, oh, if you're a witch, sorry, you must be put to death. And then about 400 years later in Rome, ironically, it's when the Holy Roman Empire first started, they literally worshipped the stars and shit, and they're like, ha ha ha, but if you to get your fortune told, you're a monster. How whack is that? How could it be like, oh, you know what, we believe a couple hundred years ago that our god could turn into a swan and fuck your lady. But you can't get your fortune told. That's a no-no. But whatever, moving on. Then at this point, it kind of caught like wildfire. It kind of turned into anything goes at this point. Books were starting to influence canon law. So the first book was the Episcopi. It was released in the Holy Roman Empire era, basically saying that anyone who practiced witchcraft was delusional. And I mean, but they did hit it on the head when they said that, you know, anybody thought they magically could take off into the night sky was delusional. So at this point, everybody started killing witches. You know, the Pope in 1258 decided to completely eliminate the Knights Templar. And if you don't know, they were warrior monks because they believed they were too influenced by witchcraft. And like, this is like whack to me, because like, these are your people. How are you gonna just be like, oh, you know, eradicated? And like, when I say eradicated, I don't mean like, oh, they just fired them. No, like, they literally burned every single Knights Templar at the stake at the conspiracy of they were all witches. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me either, but whatever. So everyone had a witch trial. Australia, Germany, France, England, Ireland. The notion that people were taking to the night and making pacts for Satan was just filling the world. The last formal witch hunt ended in Hungary in 1768. Then, the turn of the 18th century, a French writer, Jules Michelet, advocated to return to a goddess's worship and saw women's natural inclination to witchcraft as positive. As much as I would really love to be able to shoot like fireballs out my asshole, I also don't want fireballs up my asshole. So there's that. Okay, sorry. It's a little hard to draw spider legs on your face and talk at the same time. A little new fact for you. Point, you know, at the 18th century, witches more tolerated, seen as, you know, a pre-Christian religion rather than a pact with Satan himself, than a woman by, I believe, let's see, what was her name? Matilda Jocelyn Gage. Dude, if that was my name, I would be famous. Because, like, that's such a cool ass name. Matilda Jocelyn Gage. Anyway, she wrote a book basically saying that the witch trials were, how do I put this? They were pretty much a Christian onslaught, pretty much a Christian massacre. Which, I mean, we all know, but we're not saying that, you know, because we don't want anyone to get upset. She reported that by the end of it, close to 9 million men, women, and children had died. 9 million people were literally put to death over being a witch. Could you imagine? I literally couldn't even imagine being like, you're a bad person over, I think you can control the weather. You turned me into a newt, therefore you must die. Someone turned people into a newt, 9 million people died. I am shooketh by that. Since then, the first world has gotten a lot more lenient with witchcraft and witchcraft accessories. Unfortunately, in 2011, a girl in Saudi Arabia was put to death after pretty much told she practiced witchcraft. Does that mean that's kind of how it works in other countries? You're told, hey, I think you did this. Mostly now though, luckily, witches and like the onslaught that has come with everybody being obsessed with witches, which I'm totally down for. I'm down for some self-love. But like pretty much the onslaught that's came along with people loving and just taking to the streets in dark black wonder is pretty much hand in hand with feminism. And as we're getting into a new age of femininity, people are loving the self-empowerment of witchcraft, you know, the woman empowerment of being a witch. And it's not about making pacts with Satan. It's more about getting in touch with your inner goddess. Now I'm going to go in certain spots and I'm going to add a little red highlight, matching with the red in my eye. And I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I added a little bit of red in my dude here. So, alright, I'm back. I added a little bit of red. I'm going to go ahead and just pop off camera real quick and finish up the look, and then I'll be right back. Alright, this is the final and completed look. If you can't tell, I'm a witch. I got the spider coming up my eye, my lips are black, and I just did a quick little shine glam eye over here with the same colors I used on this eye, which is just, you know, black, and I actually just used the highlighter from the rest of my face on the inner corner and just blended it all in, threw in a moon, went over my contour in purple, and that's the final look. I feel like I look not too spooky, but I look a spooky season sexy. Part of me feels like I should go over my clavicles. But I'm not. I'm not doing it. I'm just gonna wash from here up. I didn't even do my neck. Yes, it's like 2 a.m. and I'm in here being spooky. Alright, well, I'm gonna close my eyes so you can see it closed. Pretty gnarly. I like it. But that doesn't matter. It matters what you like. So if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Let me know. Tell me how much you like it in the comment section down below. And please don't forget to subscribe.